Hi, and welcome to Coffee with the Counselors. My name is Natalie Havens, and I'm one of the Spanish River High School counselors here. Today, we have presenting our High School 101 and ELL support and success, one of our ELL school counselors, Mrs. Abramowitz. So go ahead and take it away.
Hi, welcome to our Coffee with the Counselors today. Like Ms. Haven said, I'm Mrs. Abramowitz. I am the ESO school counselor here. We're going to go ahead and start our presentation today by sharing with you all of the high school counselors here. We have Miss Solid. Anybody whose last name is A through CH, they will go to her. We have Miss Whitley. The last names are CI to F. Miss Loyacona, last names are Chi through K, and she's our director as well. We have our college and career counselor, Miss Riggle. We have Miss Rivera. She's new to us this year. Her last names are L through N. Miss Havens, her alpha is O through SB. And Miss Pasatempo, her last names are SC through Z. So if your kid's last name ends with any of the alphabet here, those are the counselors you go to if you have any questions. And Dr. Allen is the assistant principal that oversees all the counselors here. So just so you guys know, the typical day here at Spanish River, we have two different schedules. We have either a blue schedule or a silver schedule. And the difference between one and the other is that it all depends on what the student has fifth period. So if the student has fifth period in the 8,000 building, they will have the blue schedule, meaning they will have first lunch. So they will go to lunch after fourth period, and then they will go to their fifth period. If they have their fifth period in any other building except the 8,000 building, then they'll have the civil lunch schedule. That means they first go to fifth period and then they go to lunch. Just so you know, our gates usually are closed from 12 to 12:30. So there's no students that are leaving in during this time. There's no parents that are coming in during this time. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Okay, some graduation requirements. So in order for a student to graduate from high school, they need at least 4 English credits. So each year they will take an English class. They have to have 4 math credits. One of those has to be Algebra 1. One of those has to be geometry, and then 2 other math classes they will do. Um, and for science, they need 3 credits. One of those has to be a physical science, so either physical science or chemistry, another one biology, and then another elective. But if students are trying to go to a 4-year university or any rigorous university, they must also take another science during their senior year. Social studies, they need 3 credits in order to graduate. They need world history, US history, and during their senior year, they'll take half a semester of economics, half a semester of government. They also need a fine or performing art credits. So any of those art classes, theater classes, speech, debate, any CT classes like business, ownership, marketing essentials, any of those classes will fulfill that credit. And another graduation requirement they need is a PE credit. So they have to either take the class here in school called personal fitness half a semester, then the other semester will be team sports, or they can take it online through Florida Virtual School, and they must take a class called HOPE. They need 8 electives as well. So those are those extra classes students can take if they're interested in psychology, creative writing. We have foreign languages. Remember, foreign languages are not required for graduation, but most universities want students to have at least 2 years of the same foreign language. So for example, Spanish 1, then Spanish 2. If they have more than that, that even looks better for them. Also, for any scholarships such as Bright Futures, they require for students to have 2 years of a foreign language. Now new to our incoming ninth graders, and after we have a class called Personal Financial Literacy. That's half a credit. That's a requirement. No longer is a requirement for online classes for graduation. That used to be a requirement before, but students can still take an online classes if they wish to, only electives though. And remember, the harder classes they take, the better it is when they're applying for colleges. Another graduation requirement that they need is to pass a reading test. So they have to pass the FAST test with a score of 3 or higher. So it's basically the highest is a 5, so they have to have at least a 3. And they take different tests. So they take a PM test. So it will be PM1, PM2, PM3. They already took the PM1 for 9th and 10th grader. That was on September 4th. The next one will be the called PM2, and that will be in January 7th for our 9th and 10th graders. They also have to have a math requirement, so they have to pass either the Algebra 1 EOC or the Geometry EOC. EOC means end of course exams, and they also have to have a 3 or higher in order to pass the graduation math requirement. And just remember, for those classes with end of course exams, the EOC is calculated into their final grade, and it's 30% of their grade. So for Algebra 1, we have that big exam that called EOC at the end of the year, like in May. In geometry as well, US history has that as well, and biology, and that's 30% of their grade. Another graduation requirement is they need to have 20 hours minimum for graduation. 20 hours, it can be anywhere that they're not earning money for, so it's a nonprofit. They can have more than that. The more they have, the better it is. Usually we have those papers located in blue and silver suites. We're going to go ahead and click on it to show you how it looks. So students can do this at a library. They can do this at a church, at a synagogue, any like animal shelters, any place that they are given their time and volunteering.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to share it so you can see the clip. So when you look on our website, this is how it looks.
So if you go to our website, you click where it says community service form. And this is how it looks. So the student will take this to wherever they're going to be doing their community service hours. So if they're going to go to the library, they will bring that to the library with them, and they will go ahead and sign off. Once they're completed and sign off, then we're going to show you another little thing here where it will give you instructions on how the student will upload the community service hours on their SIS portal, which is located on their district portal. So they'll go to the Spanish River website, they can click there, and basically they'll go to SIS, click on forms. They will click on high school community service student, then they'll fill in all that information, date, description of hours, how many hours. Then they have to make sure they upload that document there, and they just send it off. And once we receive that, then it gets inputted in their SIS. Please keep in mind that most scholarships, including Bright Futures, require 100 hours or more, and they can start earning their community service hours the summer before 9th grade. And the goal is for them to have it done December of their junior year, so December of their 11th grade. Okay, another graduation requirement is the minimum in order for a student to graduate high school, they have to have a 2.0 GPA in all their credits attempted for graduation. But please remember that universities are looking for GPAs that are higher than 3.5, and they're going to be recalculating those GPAs as well. So they're going to be looking at all those classes they're taking, college level classes, honors. The more and the better it would be for them. Okay, so what is a GPA? GPA is just a way of converting grades into a numerical scale. It is one of the most important factors considered in the college admission process. Basically, the grades earned in high school classes are all averaged together to arrive at one cumulative grade, which is then converted to GPA. There is a GPA and then there's an HPA. So GPA is unweighted and HPA is weighted. So those are, the HPA is basically going to be those honors, those AP, ACE classes. And then please remember that GPA grades are not personal. They are earned by the student. So just so you guys know, grade GPA is basically grade point average, and HPA is honor point average. So as you can see, when a student takes a regular class, an A there is going to give them 4 points. If they take an honors class, the A will give them 4.5. And if they take any AP, ACE, or dual enrollment classes, it will be a 6.0. And then please know, Bright Futures and universities, they review the HPA as well. Okay, so talking about Bright Futures. Bright Future is a scholarship for all Florida students. It's basically, there's two different types that they can earn. So they can earn the Florida Academic Scholars, and they can earn the Florida Medallion Scholars if they meet certain graduation requirements and certain requirements that they have as well. So let's go ahead and Ms. Havens, if you want to click on that link, because it's a little blurry, so we can tell them. Okay, so basically, if a student's GPA is at least 3.0, and they have their 4 English, they have their 4 math, their 3 natural sciences classes, their 3 social studies classes, and they have to have at least 2 years of a foreign language with a 3.0 GPA. They must also have 75 hours of community service, or they can submit work hours for Bright Futures purposes. They also have to have certain scores on the ACT, SAT, or CLT. If they have that, they can be eligible to have 75% covered tuition to any Florida public university. If they have a GPA of 3.5, along with all the high school credits I mentioned before, they have to have 100 hours of community service, and then they must earn certain scores for the ACT, CLT, and SAT as well. If they meet those scores that we're showing on the website right now, then they could have 100% covered tuition to any Florida public universities. Please be mindful, they can also use the work hours for that as well. And then all they have to do is they have to make sure they have that in by senior year. So another way of earning the Bright Futures scholarship that we have here for Florida students is by earning the ACE diploma. So if they earn the ACE diploma, that means basically they have to take 7 classes, or it could be less depending on what classes they take, and they must pass those exams, those ACE exams. Students are expected to take the year-long Cambridge courses before they sit for the exam. They must also take the courses based on the groups that were showing up here. In addition, they also have to take the global perspective and research class, okay? That is required for the ACE diploma, and they have to pass those exams. If they pass the classes and the exams, then the students can also have Bright Future Scholarship. That means, again, free money to go to any Florida public school. And if they do the ACE diploma, another great benefit is they don't have to have a fine arts credit, like the credits I was mentioning before, like theater, debate, anything like that. And they don't need to have personal fitness. They will be waived for those credits if they're doing the ACE diploma. All 7 exams must be completed within a 3-year time frame. So if they start 9th grade, they have to finish it by 11th grade. If they start later than that, then we have to make sure you're talking to your student's counselor so we can make sure they're on track and they have everything they need. Okay, so let's talk about some ESOL support for success. So ELL means English Language Learner. So that's basically for the students who are coming from other countries that are learning the language. And then ESOL is English for Speakers of Other Language. That is basically the name of the program itself. I am, again, Ms. Abramos. I am the ESOL counselor here. So if a student's coming from another country, we go ahead and give them a placement test just to see their level It has 4 parts. It has the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Then our coordinator here, which is her name is Elizabeth Contreras. She works closely with our students when they're coming from other countries or other states. We give them that test, we sit with them, we help them pick their classes. We have resources too on the district website for you guys. It has a lot of FAQs answers. We also have some resources for you. For example, if you're coming from another country and you as a parent would like to learn English, there are places that offer English classes. One of those is going to be a Spanish River Church. If Miss Ava wants to click on that little website for us. They have, I believe, our morning classes. You can just go to Spanish River Church and then you can click where it says English as a second language and you can register for classes. The classes are Monday evenings starting September to December. The times are 6:30 to 8 p.m. So there are night classes, I'm sorry. There are also some classes for our adult parents who are coming from other countries at Olympic Heights or at Boca High, and they're also night classes. You would just go to their website, to the school website, Olympic, you can put Olympic Heights in Google. Same thing for Boca High. You can register and you can attend those classes at night.
Did you want
Okay,
me
you
to
can go to the next.
links or should we move forward?
We can move forward. Okay, so the ESL program supports more than 197 countries speaking over 146 languages in the Palm Beach County so far we have. If there's any issues or any questions you might have, you can visit the district multicultural department. We have their link for you as well. Here we have a lot of information, a lot of support. If you're not sure where to go for something, there's phone number you can call the district office. They offer translation services as well. So if you don't speak any English yet, they can help you there too. So why this matters for high school students? It ensures that ELL students are fully supported to navigate high school curriculum, including AP and ACE pass and graduation requirements. It helps our ESL students stay on track for college readiness and post-secondary success, and offer clear steps for family and students to connect with different services that we have. Okay, so here at Spanish River, we offer free tutoring. So if your child is struggling with anything, please know there is help available here. So for our math, if we have kids struggling with math, we have math club tutoring on Tuesdays and Thursdays during lunch. So if they have first lunch, they'll go to room 8123. If they have second lunch, they'll go to portable 8. We also have the National Honor Society that offers tutoring for any type of subject the student might need help with: English, science, social studies, anything they need. And we have during lunch as well. So it's Monday and Wednesday first lunch in room 8175. Tuesdays and Thursdays first lunch will be 8123 and second lunch will be portable 8. Now, for our ninth graders, if they're struggling with their English class, on Mondays after school from 3 to 4 in room 8165, they can have a little bit extra help with Miss Andres, and her information is also listed there if you need to reach out. Her email is carrie.andres@palmbeachschools.org. Now, for kids who are struggling with biology, we have a calendar for available sessions. Students can find that on their Google Classroom as well. So it's different times. So it looks like Wednesdays and Thursdays, usually during second lunch, they can go to Miss Singerly's room, 7105. On Mondays, they can go to, if they have first lunch, they can go to Mr. Q's classroom, 8134. And again, students have this in their Google Classroom posted.
And I know they are working on developing some times for after school help too within the biology department. So that could be really helpful.
And then lastly, we have some tutoring for geometry. So lunch before each quiz or test in room 4106 with Mr. Mooney. Student must get a pass from the geometry teacher to attend. So if your student is struggling with any of these subjects, please know there is help. And if they have any questions, they can ask their teacher. They can come ask their counselors. We're here to help them be successful. Okay, so how can you help your son or daughter succeed? Please make sure they get to school every day at 7:15. Encourage them to follow dress code. Provide a quiet, media-free, comfortable place to study. Encourage our free tutoring. We have these tools available for them, so please tell them to come during the lunchtime or after school if that's when it's there, because this is a way for them to get more help. You can log into SIS on a regular basis. You can use your parent gateway account. If you don't have that, you can reach out to the student's counselor so they can go ahead and email you that information so you can set up your parent gateway account. Promote participation in clubs. There are a lot of clubs listed on the Spanish River website. If you go to the Spanish River website, you can see all the different clubs we have available, who the sponsor is, when they meet, what time they meet. So we have a lot of information. If they're not sure where to go, please tell them to go see the Spanish River website. It's there. Make sure your child attends school every day if possible. For any absences, students should email their teachers to communicate about any notes and makeup work. Some tips from teachers. It is very important that students complete assignments and are studying every night. Work with your son or daughter to learn how to cope with the stress of school, and to match expectations. Check on grades on a regular basis. Just stay on top of what students are doing or not doing in class. And work with your son or daughter on daily healthy habits. Well, thanks for viewing.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you, Mrs. Abramowitz, and we hope you found this helpful.